Modi government is a right-wing government and their policies are right-wing communal policies.
4 major public intellectuals have been murdered who were all rationalists, all journalists, all people who wrote in their Indian languages. Dabholkar, Pansari, Kalburgi and Gauri Lankesh.
We all appeal to the people. People should vote against BJP, defeat BJP in order to save our nation, save the constitution, save democracy, all constitutional values.
To speak of Prabir's contributions, I think that's been articulated so effectively, so well. I'm going to try and not repeat anything that was said. I'm just going to speak about 2 things. Like Raghu and Sitaram, my connection with Prabir is now closing in on half a century. Okay. That's where it's at. And I spent more time in the married quarters room that he had on campus than in any other hostel room on campus. I'm going to talk about 2 things. One is his contribution to rationalism and rational thought. Prabir is the most unrelenting, unsparing, and devastator of fundamentalism, obscurantism, and I think this is a very major contribution of his. Few people I know have been so consistently attacking superstition, fundamentalism. That's the thing. And you should, in the times we live in the times of fundamentalism that we live in, it's important to note that fundamentalists, there are few things they hate more than rationalists. Secularists live at the realm of tolerance. Rationalists are pretty nasty. They go and puncture your balloon. They expose your lies, right? And so look at the fact that 4 major public intellectuals have been murdered who were all rationalists, all journalists, all people who wrote in their Indian languages. Dabholkar, Pansari, Kalburgi and Gauri Lankesh. Incidentally, all of them in many ways still speak. I presided over Dabholkar's 25th anniversary of his magazine a couple of years ago. I'm just returning from the Karnataka Union of Working Journalists, where prizes have been distributed in the name of Kalburgi. I think, that rationalist element is really, I think that's one of Prabir's big crimes, really. And I think today you are facing 3 pandemics, one of which Newsclip covered so well and paid the price for it, COVID-19. But there are 2 pandemics that began before and persist and intensify. One is inequality. This country has now seen levels of inequality not witnessed even in the last decade of the British Raj, higher than the last decade of the British Raj. And the 3rd pandemic is where Prabir is a victim, which is criminalization of dissent. It has really become a pandemic in the last 10 years. Criminalization of dissent. The other feature and Prabir is a classic dissident. You should all know that the Reporters Without Borders, which runs the World Press Freedom Index, has put out a statement to the European Union's Human Rights Commission demanding sanctions against the 4 police officers in Delhi who supervised the attacks on Newsclip. Guernica 37, another major organization dealing with freedom of press, has endorsed that statement of Reporters Without Borders. The other last point, and the second and last point I want to make about Prabir, is this aggressive political optimism. The guy is unabashedly optimistic in his political approach to everything ever since I have known him. When you look at it, he's got a point to make. He's got a point on this, on that optimism. India has fallen to World Press Freedom rankings to 161 out of 180. And yet, the news clicks of the world speak. Yet, you speak. That is an astonishing achievement against unbelievable odds. Second, look at the attacks on students, the destruction of campuses, the absolute, devastation of campus life and student life. And still they speak, as JNU did just a week ago. If you look at the farmers' agitation, one BJP leader in 2020, when I asked him, "Abhi kyun laya ye kanun?" It was June 2020 when they first brought it as ordinances. He said, "Arey, abhi sab baita hai ghar mein dhar mein. Abhi kaun aayega samne? They are going to smash these ordinances into law because the farmers are sitting terrified at home like everybody else. They will not." And still those farmers spoke, and still they speak. And now you have, the rationalists were murdered. Still, in multiple ways, they speak. Today, as Romila said, Prabir has been silenced, thrown into jail. And when I look at the turnout here, I say, still he speaks.
Comrades, friends, I do not intend to make a speech. I came here only to express our party's support to Comrade Prabir Purkayastha and our party's solidarity with Comrade Prabir Purkayastha and those fighters who are in prison, who are outside, fighting for freedom to express our dissent, our views, not only on the policies of the government, but on the policies to be pursued by any government. Friends, it is a time of elections. We all appeal to the people. People should vote against BJP, defeat BJP, in order to save our nation, save the constitution, save democracy, all constitutional values. Why I am saying this? Unless the present government, the BJP government, headed by Ms. Modi as Prime Minister, is thrown out of power, we cannot scrap the draconian laws which we have today. How to scrap the draconian laws? Do you think the present government will agree? And in fact, when I was in Parliament, Comrade Sitaram Yechury was also there. I moved a private member bill against the sedition clause. I demanded the deletion of Article 124A of Indian Penal Code. It was earlier Indian Penal Code. Now I don't know what is it called in Hindi. That is for you. Indian Penal Code 124A that speaks about sedition. And I moved a bill that should be deleted, removed from Indian Penal Code. But it was not accepted. It continues. When the UAPA was brought as a legislation in Parliament, it was said left-wing extremism is the single most threat to the Indian security, internal security. I question that. What are we discussing? Left-wing extremism. All right, I may not agree with the method pursued by the left-wing extremist groups or other groups, but you must understand, the so-called left-wing extremists, they fight against the government of the day. They fight against the policies pursued by the government of the day. They confront the police and other security forces of the government. But what about right-wing extremists? Is it a fact or not? Right-wing extremists, what they do? They try to redefine Indian nationhood. India is a secular democratic republic. They want to redefine and they want to establish a theocratic nation. They want to change the character of Indian state as a theocratic state. Who is more dangerous? Left-wing extremism or right-wing extremism? Can you please tell us? Who should be fought? This is what we should understand. We are at this time of time, we are confronting a right-wing fascist government. They have not declared dictatorship, but what is happening is that it is a right-wing government. Right-wing government. Modi government is a right-wing government, and their policies are right-wing communal policies. As long as they continue to be in power, many more draconian laws will be enacted, I am telling you. Now, we have some draconian laws. If Modi continues to be Prime Minister, BJP continues to be in power, they will bring many more draconian laws. How to stop this? So, when we express our support to Prabir Purkayastha, it is not simply right to freedom of expression, press freedom, right to express our views. It is not just that simple. It is having a larger context, and we will have to fight this government. As long as this government is there, we cannot scrap all these draconian laws, and we cannot stop the new draconian laws. How to save the country? How to save the country? We can go on having some small meetings like this. Tomorrow we may not have that freedom also to hold meetings like this. That is the situation we are confronting. So presently, when we express our support to Prabir, and we must dedicate ourselves, pledge ourselves to go to people, mobilize people, and see this government, right-wing government, is thrown out of power in the forthcoming elections. That alone will save India, will save Constitution, and that alone will give hope to get Prabir Purkayastha and all other fighters released from jails. We had a rally in Delhi, and we all condemned the arrest of Kejriwal and others. We all condemned. But what is going to happen in the coming days? Maybe Sanjay Singh must have come out. But what is going to happen to others? People come and ask whether Kejriwal can continue as Chief Minister, can continue to rule from jail. What is the Constitution says? I ask people, what Constitution says on this issue? Are you clear about Constitution? Do you have any respect for Constitution? So there are many more questions. Our Constitution is under attack. And definitely they are subverting the Constitution and they are hoping to win these elections to throw out this present constitution, then what are we going to do? What are we going to do? The present constitution is replaced and the right-wing forces, they grab the power and consolidate their power. What are we going to do? So now the primary task, the immediate task, the urgent task before us to go to people and see that BJP government, the present government is thrown out of power, and this message will give encouragement, enthusiasm to the fighters like Prabir Purkayastha. Our party stands with Prabir Purkayastha. Our party expresses support and solidarity. Thank you very much.